Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and it's New Release Saturday. We're going to be taking a look today at Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, starring Nikolai Leon, Craig David Dowsett, Chris Cordell, Maria Taylor, Natasha Tosini, Natasha Rose Mills, Danielle Rolland, and Toby Wynn Davies. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's New Release Saturday, so today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new film Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. No, that's not a joke. No, that's not a typo. The original 1926 Winnie the Pooh story went into the public domain recently. So somebody grabbed a hold of it. They took the characters that we all know and love, and they created this horror movie. I will get more in depth into that afterwards. Let's get in to the meat and potatoes of the story here, shall we? Now, many years ago, a young boy named Christopher Robin met a group of anthropomorphic creatures: owl, rabbit, Eeyore, Piglet, and Winnie the Pooh in the Hundred Acre Wood, and they became friends with him. As he grew older, Christopher entered college and was forced to leave them on their own. Without Christopher to feed them and give them guidance, and with the arrival of winter, Pooh, Piglet, Rabbit, and Owl went into extreme starvation, and they killed and ate Eeyore, which traumatized them to the point where they developed a hatred for anything human related, as well as Christopher for leaving them behind. The group then made a pact to abandon their humanity and to return to their feral instincts, vowing to never talk again. 5 years later, a now adult Christopher Robin returns to the Hundred Acre Wood, accompanied by his fiancée, Mary, looking to reunite with his old friends, only to find the place in a desolate state. Now, despite Mary's warnings to leave, Christopher Robin investigates further and is surprised by Piglet, who chokes Mary to death with a chain. Horrified, Christopher tries to run away, but ends up getting cornered by Pooh and Piglet, who then drag him back into the woods. Sometime later, a group of university students, Maria, Jess, Alice, Zoe, and Laura, rent a cabin in the Hundred Acre Wood at the suggestion of Maria's therapist so that she can try to forget about her traumatic experience with a stalker. Tina, another one of Maria's friends, gets lost on the way to the cabin and gets chased by Pooh into an abandoned factory where Pooh grinds her up with a wood chipper. Meanwhile, back in Pooh's treehouse, Christopher Robin is being held prisoner by Pooh, who brutally whips him with Eeyore's detached tail in retaliation for leaving his former friends to fend for themselves. As night falls, Pooh and Piglet find the cabin and kidnap Laura, who is relaxing in a hot tub. Piglet gags her while Pooh drives a car into Laura's head, crushing her skull. Maria and Jess hear the commotion and find Laura's corpse, running back to the cabin to warn Alice and Zoe. The group are then attacked by Pooh and end up getting separated from each other. Piglet enters the cabin, knocks Alice unconscious, and kills Zoe with a sledgehammer. Maria and Jess watch on as Pooh and Piglet take Alice away, and they decide to follow them into the woods to try and rescue her. Back in Pooh's treehouse, Maria and Jess free Alice, Christopher Robin, and another hostage named Charlene, whose husband Scott has already been murdered by Piglet. Seeking revenge, Charlene summons Piglet to try to kill him, but Pooh subdues her so that Piglet can maul her to death. Pooh then chases Maria and Jess into the woods while Alice stays behind to bludgeon an unsuspecting Piglet with his own sledgehammer. Hearing Piglet's screams, Pooh runs back to the treehouse, but finds him already dead. Enraged, Pooh confronts Alice with a knife and proceeds to fatally impale her to a wall through her open mouth. Maria and Jess run to the road where they stop a car driven by 4 local men, Logan, Tucker, John, and Colt, in order to ask for their assistance. Despite the men's attempts to take him down, Pooh easily kills them one by one until Maria tries to run him over with her car. Pooh then climbs into the car, and Maria ends up crashing into a tree, losing consciousness. When Maria wakes up, she witnesses Pooh decapitating Jess. Pooh then attempts to kill Maria until Christopher Robin appears, driving another car, crushing Pooh between the 2 cars and seemingly killing him. Christopher then tries to help Maria, but Pooh, having survived, catches up to them and grabs Maria, preparing to kill her with his knife. Christopher Robin tries to implore Pooh to spare Maria, and he vows to spend the rest of his life in the 100 Acre Wood with him. Then Pooh breaks his vow not to speak and tells Christopher, "You left," before he slices Maria's throat. Christopher Robin then flees the 100 Acre Wood as Pooh repeatedly stabs Maria's corpse, and our movie comes to its end. Now, it's the understatement of the year for me to say I had no idea what I was going to in this. This is not a movie that had heavy commercial play on television or anything. I had not seen a trailer. All I knew about it was what I told you at the beginning of this review. The 1926 A.A. Milne original Winnie the Pooh story went into the public domain recently. The director, screenwriter of this film, got a hold of it, took the characters we all know and love, and created this twisted cinematic experience. And I sat there watching this in the theater, and the only word I could come up with to describe it afterwards was interesting. Was it a great movie? No, far from it. Was it a horrible movie? Absolutely not, far from it. I think just not really knowing what to expect made it to where I neither was overexcited about it coming out, but I wasn't disappointed either. You know, it was a good movie. I would buy it on home media. I would own it. I would add it to my horror collection. I would see a sequel if one gets made. They did leave it open. Christopher Robin is still alive. Pooh is still alive. We don't know the status of Owl or Rabbit. And at no point during the story was Tigger or Kanga or Roo or any of those other characters that we know and love from the Pooh stories brought up. So those characters can still come back along with Pooh, and we can have ourselves a nice little sequel to this. You know, but The kills, some of the kills were awesome. The impaling was amazing. I definitely cringed watching that. I'm not going to lie. The story itself, the bare bones story, Christopher Robin leaves the Hundred Acre Woods and his friends, and they resent him for it. So they go back to their feral instincts and begin to kill. And they hold him responsible and try to kill him too. Simple. Definitely gives Pooh and Piglet motive, and an understandable motive. They felt betrayed. So while is it extreme to go on a killing spree? Absolutely. Not going to try and justify it. But they had motive. So it's a simple story. The killer's got a good motive. And the whole journey of the story, I felt, was well told. Now, there were people in the theater that were less than thrilled with it. I believe I heard one person say it was a piece of shit. I don't know if I would go there. Trust me, I've seen some rather horrible horror movies before. I've seen some rather horrible movies in general before. I wouldn't go that far. But it definitely piqued my curiosity, and it makes me wonder what else can be done along these lines. You figure in the next year or so, the original creations of Mickey Mouse are going to enter the public domain, much like A. Milne's original Pooh story. Is something like this going to be done? Are we going to see this horror killer Mickey Mouse that makes the Mickey Mouse portrayed in South Park look like a freaking angel? Who knows? But as all these things start to enter the public domain, I can only imagine that more movies like this are going to surface. I've read that there's now work of a Peter Pan one, where Tinkerbell is going to be an obese recovering drug addict. Think about that for a moment. Think about your image of Tinkerbell, whether it's the Disney cartoon, whether it's Julia Roberts in Hook, and then think of Tinkerbell as an obese recovering drug addict inside the same confines of a story as something like this. Oh, I'm definitely curious. When it comes to my rating for this, I'm going to give it kind of a middle of the pack right now. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's definitely something that I need to watch a couple more times. And if I enjoy it, watching it those couple more times to the extent that I enjoyed it here, very easily could move up in star rankings. But like I said, was it great? No. Was it horrible? No. So I feel 3 out of 5 stars is a nice little middle of the road and worthy of this film. I'm curious, those of you that went and saw Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, what did you think? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. And let's engage in that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. I'm really curious to know what my fans and viewers thought of this film. And make sure you guys tune in at the top of the hour, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as the Jeff Meacham Network and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, as we bring to you our coverage of WWE's Elimination Chamber PLE. That's right, we're going live at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. Myself, the Simple Man Noah Foster, will be providing predictions, live reactions, play-by-play commentary to what will be the final major stop between the Royal Rumble and SoFi Stadium for WrestleMania 39. You don't want to miss out on that. And then Immediately following, again, here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time for our normal Saturday evening shenanigans as we once again present Open Mic Night. Myself and Noah Foster will be joined by the Hebe man James Hebert, and whoever else decides to walk through those doors, step up to the microphone, and engage us in a week's worth of professional wrestling. And then tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, it'll be time to once again step into the war zone. That's right, it'll be time for another edition of the Weekly Acquisition Report, the show where I, the Renegade, show you, the viewers, the latest additions to my ever-growing movie library. This week, just a small stack of stuff that I picked up from Goodwill when I went with my good buddy, the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham. I'm going to show you that stuff tomorrow. You don't want to miss out on any of that coverage right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network, multiverse of media. We've got Elimination Chamber coverage, Open Mic Night, the War Zone, and so much more still in store for you this month. You don't want to miss it. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Winnie the Pooh, fans of Piglet, fans of A.A. Milne, fans of horror. Share this review with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized and begin making some money on the hard work I've been putting into this channel for the better part of the last 2 years. Thank you once again to everyone who joined me and tuned in today. It means so much more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.